All right, I've Milk back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Tuesday, January 9th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here basically on the flat line. I'm doing this video a little early. We do have a storm/tornado warning, so I just want to get this out just in case we lose power or something crazy happens. But markets at 2:30 p.m. here are basically flat to lower. Qs are the big winner on the day. Semiconductors, Nvidia, new all-time highs. Apple, a little dip by, and Microsoft, Google, Amazon also very strong here on the week. And so a pretty good dip by this morning. We did have news out of Asia. So Samsung basically kind of lowering their guidance, though markets didn't seem too bothered, and they're willing to buy the dip. Again, I kind of talked about this recently. We have a huge move up here. Market participants are starved for a dip to buy. They're going to do it. And that's kind of why I said, let's not get too bearish here. We have a 4-day pullback into the 20 moving average, right? This is totally run of the mill. It's routine. So no need to get too bearish just yet. And we are seeing a pretty good dip buy, mostly an inside day. Seeing a few sectors start to slip. Broker dealers, transport's definitely taking a little bit of a dump here in the afternoon. Even if we do fade this rally here, which is possible, it's just an inside day, right? Let's not make too much out of it here. We had a big thrust yesterday, and I would have been surprised if the markets continued higher in any sort of significant manner here. But right now, markets are hanging in there. Semiconductors are leading, and when I see that, generally want to give the market an upside bias. We talked about 47.60 this morning. That would be kind of max move. We got to 47.65, and the 0DT boys stepped in and pushed that down from the highs of the day. We'll see. 47.40, 47.50 would be possible targets. 47.45. That's kind of like right in the middle of where we are today. So if we did push down there, I'd expect that to be kind of a magnet. Again, inside day, let's not make too much out of it, but definitely some strength in the NASDAQ. And again, when you see strength in semis and the NASDAQ, it's generally a good sign for the markets. CrowdStrike getting an upgrade this week, or this morning rather, up 5.6. Take a look at IGV, big day there, or at least relatively speaking, up about 0.2%. So nice day there. Short term, this is kind of what I'm looking at here. So I'm just going to go to an hourly because it's easier to see. But if we get above that 7.5 retrace, I'm just going to say we're going to 4,800. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. If you can break 75% of that move, the market's likely going to want to test double top 4,800, and then there's your all-time high 4,818. So we'll see if that happens. Again, doesn't mean it'll happen in a straight line. We could easily see a zigzag down, some chop. Remember, CPI is on Thursday, so it wouldn't shock me to see an inside day tomorrow. In fact, I'm kind of expecting that. But right now, markets are acting well, and bears needed to show up here, and so far they have. But again, it's not exactly like a robust defense here. Right now, I just see bullish consolidation, and bears kind of showing up, or not really showing up for the triple Qs here, as we're seeing the Mag 7 act well. Take a look at Amazon, up 1.3. Meta is on the weaker side, but still holding up well. Microsoft green. Apple still on the weaker side, but an inside day there. The bigger winners, though, Google. We talked about CrowdStrike. And take a look at Netflix. Look at the dip by there. That was down quite a bit this morning, and nice V shape. So again, big tech kind of coming back and recovering. AMD had a big day, up 2%. So again, big tech is the story here, and inside day in a lot of other sectors. So no real problems here. Just continuing to churn and burn, rotation. Financials are on the weaker side today. They've been strong lately, and now we're seeing big tech pick the market back up. Dow here down 0.5%, but again, holding that 20 moving average. So again, inside day, nothing really terrible here. It's not great, it's not terrible, but again, price action wise, just digesting that big move. We did gap down, but again, holding the 20. I still think this is looking real top heavy. Like that looks like a rolling top to me. Doesn't mean we can't kind of, sometimes when you get these rolling top type patterns, you get kind of a divergent high like that, an outside move, and then you kind of come down sharply. So I would be a little careful here with the Dow. It's gone parabolic. This is not enough to work off that overbought condition. That doesn't mean we can't have a divergent high, but this is one area of the market I would be a little careful with, but it's holding up well right now. And XLV, by the way, rotation into defensives here, big up move today. It is off the highs here, very close to all-time highs as well. Russell 2000, again, inside day, gap down, and just sitting sideways. No problems here, a little dip by. This is below the 20 moving average, but this has also had probably the biggest run. I mean, 162 to 205 in like, 8-9 weeks. So it needs to pull back here. It's holding that gap for now. And again, we'll leave it there, but inside day there for the Russell 2000. SMH, again, guys, gave you that level 165. Hopefully some of you guys got that. That is up nicely off the lows. SOX 3900, perfect picture, perfect hit here. Gap down the other day and back above the 20 moving average. So that looks okay. We talked about the 4100 handle. It's basically testing that right now. And we can take a look here. If we draw their fib, you're right into that 618. Next big levels, 4150, pivot low, 75 retrace. Or the SOX, NVIDIA at all-time highs. This I would be careful with. I know everybody's going to look at this and say, oh, it's bullish consolidation, it's weekly consolidation, but on the monthly, this has not done enough, if you ask me. It's giving me kind of that IWM circa 2021 vibe, where we consolidated and the 20 moving average didn't catch up as we tried to break out, and it kind of failed. That doesn't mean it necessarily happens here, but it definitely has that feel to it. And I just don't, you're still parabolic, and you're getting more parabolic here. So I'd be careful with NVIDIA, but right now, market's holding up and the semis are strong. Give the market a bullish bias here. But if there's something that looks like it could be a fake breakout within the next 6 weeks, I think that could be it. Anyways, IGV holding up well. Again, CrowdStrike having a nice day, stalling out right at the 20 moving average. And that pivot high 402, we talked about that yesterday. Again, it's right into that area. If you get above that, we can go back to double top. Transports, again, an inside day here. You could make a case that DJT is got a little bear flag, right? So just be careful with the transports here. There's still a lot of support at 15.2. What I like a lot about the transports is the jets, and a lot of negative news here for the jets lately, but this is holding up really well. Inside day today after the big move yesterday, despite negative news, that's not a bearish development. Rails, CSX there, Norfolk Southern backing off, UNP. These are nothing terrible here, just pullbacks here off the highs. XPO. Little bear flag. That is a ridiculously overbought name. Rider Systems pulling back in. So it could be a zigzag down to 108. So transports as a whole kind of mixed, but the jets I do like here. And we can pop back above that red bar. I think transports can go higher. But right now, a little bit of weakness, and you don't want to see a bear base there because that would set up a move to 15.2. Interest rates here. So let's get over here. Where's my... There we go. Take a look at the dollar, by the way. Dollar holding up well, and the market's acting well. This is a little interesting, right? So 2-year, 5s, 10s, 30s, all kind of flat to lower. Nothing terrible here. They're all holding up. I'm starting to get more into the camp, and we do have CPI Thursday, but starting to get more in the camp here that the lows are probably in for yields. If we get, CPI comes in lower than expected, yeah, could we get a blow off down for bonds? It's possible. Certainly can't be ruled out, but starting to feel like we're running out of time here. But right now, yields hanging in there inside and no real problems here. The dollar is very interesting. Market's just floating up here despite a very strong dollar. So again, this is why I said don't get too bearish. There's lots of flows here. January effect, lots of new money coming into the market, right? The market can ignore these bearish macro things here for a time. But dollar definitely firming up. So anyways, XHB here, that again, another buy the dip there, that remains strong. That's just like a buoy, right? Every time it goes down, it just pops right back up. Down 12 basis points here today, but again, off the highs, nothing terrible there. We won't make too much out of that. VNQ still in the range, again, inside day like a lot of things. XLF inside day like a lot of things. Trend is not broken, but doing backing and filling. KRE, again, inside day, nothing terrible. This can still pump up if it wants to, if they want it higher. $50 is still support right now. KBE, same thing. You guys know the story there. Broker dealers, again, on the weaker side. Take a look here. Starting to fade towards the lows of the day here as we get into the afternoon. But again, I mean, like, come on, it's up from 450 to 560, right, in 2 months. So it's going to pull back here. Might get a little zigzag down. 520 would be support. All right, let's talk energy here. So crude up 2% on the day. Again, I did adjust this. So earlier, I had it kind of like this, or earlier this morning, it was like that, just going through the pivots. So low, low. And then I said, well, we're bouncing, so let's just adjust it. So we'll just do that for now. And we'll see if this breaks out. It's going to 80 bucks. Kind of in the camp, it's probably going to do that soon. But it might have some more chop to go. Again, CPI, maybe it drops it down. But energy's up for the month of December, well, going into January. And we'll talk about nat gas in a second, but it could get interesting next month CPI. Let's just say that. Let's look at XLE first. Went down to double bottom. Again, pointed that level out in the trading room again today and got a little bounce off of that. That looks like it wants to go lower, though. Same thing with XOP and OIH. I'm rooting for that to get down there. So this is a level here that I like. A pierce of this area, maybe 275. I like that. So that's a freebie there. And I like the OIH in that area. Nat gas, again, down for the month of December, just like oil. So it may have a soft CPI, but next month, you guys know I've been talking about yields. I've made that very clear. I think yields are going to surprise people in the first quarter. If this holds up into the end of the month, what do you think CPI is going to look like, right? If crude goes up to 80 bucks, like I think it might, towards the end of the month, what do you think CPI is going to look like for January? Food for thought there. Polar vortex, big storm on the east coast of Florida, which is about to hit me. Could be something go there to do with that. When I talked about this, 1, 2, 3 tail candles in the last couple of weeks, specifically the last 2 days. I don't think I've ever seen this happen. Tail candles of that size, back-to-back days with higher highs. Tells you that shorts are kind of losing control there. That it's an easy short, just short nat gas, right? And when it works until it doesn't, and then this is what happens. So big move there. It does have some resistance around 350, 360, and then after that it's up to $4. It is a little overbought here. It is coming off the highs though. CCJ here up 4.25. Again, energy continuing to rally. URNM, this might be getting going. I've been telling you guys about this pattern. This is good, and it's getting a nice pop. So uranium acting well still. All right, what's next? Dollar index. See, I went out of order. See my habit all messed up now. But we talked about the dollar early. Bullish inside bar there on the daily. I have a different dollar chart here. There you go. Still kind of, in this channel. It's popping out of it. It's inside of it, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to come back here. CPI will tell us a lot more. But right now, just be neutral on the dollar. But it does have a minor bull flag there on the daily. So we'll leave it there. I think CPI will move this around. Gold here did pop, but then came back in. So again, a little bit on the softer side. If the dollar does rally, we'll look down to 1960. We talked about that GLD fake print. Let's see if it's still there on the weekly. Yeah, it is. And where does that line up with? 178.28. Does it kind of line up with that trend line? Yeah, it kind of does. It's in that vicinity, right? So it could be a downside objective if we get there. Again, you guys know my thoughts on yields. Silver, starting to put in a bear flag on the daily. Be careful with this one. It's vulnerable down to 22. Platinum pulling in as well. That is coming into support here at 940. And then I think 915 was the next level I had for that. If it gets down there, palladium looks like it wants double bottom. I'm still accumulating this, so I am not complaining about that. I still like this very much for the long term, and platinum as well. Copper, good outside move down 1 1/3. Again, never got to that 4 handle. Couldn't, made a higher high, but just couldn't sustain it. There is support here at 375, 373. Just daily chart support though. Below that, probably kind of got to look to around 370. But his copper is backing off here. All right, Bitcoin here. So everybody's talking about the ETF, and it looks like it's going to get approved by tomorrow, I guess. There is the 1 minute I hear this, 1 minute I hear that. Bottom line, it is acting well. You had a nice bull base here over the last couple of weeks, and you're bidding through that. This is your pivot high at 48, 48.2 to be exact, and then you've got this area Above that, down move, big red bar, breakdown bar, and then you retrace there. That's where there's sellers. That's where sellers should come in. And now it's Bitcoin, so who knows? It just does what it wants. Sometimes it blows through resistance, it blows through support, but that's the level. So 48 to 50K. If we get a euphoric pop on that, that's where I think it would go. It might even be a sell there, but I'm probably not even going to do it because I don't really think it's worth it. But if you wanted to take a shot at it, that's where I would do it if you're looking for a sell the news type move. So, but it's holding up right now, and we'll leave it at that. The pattern's fine. Right now here, let's take a look. So 2:45 p.m. again. I know I'm doing the video a little early, but I just want to get it out of the way in case there's power problems or whatever. But market here is coming back in. Let me take a look at so 47.45 and 47.50. That's where the gamma is sitting. That's where it was this morning. We broke through it. 47.60 ended up being a little bit of resistance. And if we do fade, that's where I would expect us to kind of settle in the next hour. But overall, don't make too much out of it unless we break down the lows. Even then, I mean, it's still just an inside day. And if we're holding that 20 moving average, I think the market is fine right now. And even if we dip below it like we did a little bit here, still just bullish consolidation until proven otherwise. Anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.